Well, hey there, Pajama Grandma. Sharon Hornellstrom here. In need of some caffeine this morning. Today is day 195 of What's She Up To Now. I'm just sharing what I'm doing as I transition from the corporate and brick and mortar world of business ownership to the online world and running businesses online. And I don't care what anybody says, it is different. There are some things that are similar, but there are some things that are very different. There are some things that are much, much easier online than they were offline. But there's also things that a lot of people that struggle as they're moving and creating online businesses don't realize, because there is a delivery component. And there's other components that you learn in the brick and mortar world that you automatically know are important as you go to the online world. And so I think there's advantages. There's disadvantages because it's so different, but there's also advantages to having lived the other experiences. Today, actually last night, I learned that I need to be flexible and make being flexible fun. I'm in a 30-day challenge where we are doing a different theme every day. And the theme that we were presented with and the way it was presented turns out to be a little confusing. And I thought I had assumed right, and I even asked the question, but it didn't get answered. And so I mapped it all out for the 30 days. And I'm not really that huge a planner when it comes to my Facebook Lives. So it's unusual for me to map out a 30-day span ahead of time about what I'm going to talk about for any of my podcasts or for any of my communications. But for this particular period, I thought, well, I want to use this in a way that makes sense to build my Supersize Your Business group. And how am I going to do that? Well, then I mapped that all out. I thought, well, I'm going to take the process that you use, because it's a process to supersize your business, and I'll break that down into 30 chunks, and that'll be my 30-day challenge. Well, then the group owner, who is awesome, by the way, decided he was going to add daily themes to the challenge. And so he mapped out 7 days of themes and then said that certain days would be what. And people in the group interpreted it one way and ran with that. And so instead of mapping out what he had originally said and meant, he went with the group, which I found very interesting from a leadership perspective and leadership dynamics. And so last night I discovered at, 9:30, 10 o'clock, that the theme that everybody else was doing was different than the theme I had done at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I quick hopped on in my lovely sticky outy hair, no makeup at this point because I was getting ready for bed, and my pajamas, and I said, okay, well, here's my pitch for my business, because I guess that today is pitch day, and did that, which was fine. And I stopped myself from being frustrated, and I thought, okay, this is fun. If I could create 30 days in one theme, all I have to do is move the days around and then rethink about the topics with the new themes. And it actually saved me, because today was supposed to be 60 seconds. And I had a way to describe what I was sharing in 60 seconds, and that was fine. But it went from share something meaningful in 60 seconds to tell a story about it. So instead of talking for 60 seconds, I got to talk for 5 or just under 5 minutes. And that made what I was sharing a lot more powerful than just sharing a formula. So there's always an upside to everything. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot about leadership and people's different leadership styles by observing, and the power of the group to impact the leader, which is a really, really powerful lesson. I learned that my reaction is always my responsibility, and there's no reason to be frustrated about anything, because it's so easy to just tweak and change and roll with things and be flexible, and it's a lot more fun. It's fun to be flexible. It's fun to be open-minded, because it opens us up to so many more experiences that we wouldn't have otherwise. So I ended up talking about something near and dear to my heart today, which is ravioli. So that was fun. And I got to tell a story about ravioli and why and how we supersized the ravioli business. So that's what I'm working on today. Now, today, I'm not really working on much. Last night, I had a hard time yesterday doing my webinar. Somehow, when I hit the wrong button, because I have bad eyes and I use this magnifying glass thing, I hit the wrong button during my webinar, and I ended up cutting off after about 25 minutes the whole webinar, the whole presentation on Facebook Live. However, fortunately, I was recording it in my PowerPoint presentation so I could render the video in Camtasia, and I can put that up on my website. And actually, I put that up this morning, a little after 4. It was finally done rendering, and I put it up on the internet. I'm sure it was done way before 4, but of course I was sleeping. But today I get to go see my 2 favorite people in the whole wide world. And in the olden days, I would never drop anything. Business always came first. But nowadays, there are 2 people I drop everything for, and they are my 98, almost 99-year-old grandmother. I'm going to go visit her today, one of my sisters and I, and my granddaughter, my beautiful granddaughter. So I'm going to have breakfast with her, and it's going to be an awesome day. It's going to be an awesome day, right? Say that to yourself. You know, if you're feeling a little mellow or tired in the morning, look yourself in the eye in the mirror and say, it's going to be an awesome day, because it is. Our days are whatever we want them to be. And that's another thing to remember, that we have control over how things are going to be in our life and how we're going to react to them. Maybe not what happens, but how we react to it. We always get to choose that. So I'm like, you can choose to be miserable and upset, or you can choose to have an awesome day. I am always going to choose to have an awesome day, especially on days I get to see my 2 favorite people. So you go out, make it a fantastic, awesome day, and I will see you tomorrow with day 196 of What's She Up To Now.